Here we go. We are live on YouTube. And we're going to get started right away. My name is Roxxanne-Soumaya, and I am here live with Roxxanne. And today I'm so excited to be featuring a dancer who I know very little about, and I want to know everything. So I am really excited, and I know you are going to be too, because today we're going to get to know one of our Manat Dance Collective members. Her name is Soumaya Marose. Of course, it sounds better in French, but I have a terrible French accent. So Soumaya is Moroccan, and she is currently living in New York. And I'm going to let her tell us about herself, and we'll take it from there. So Soumaya, welcome. Ahla wa sahla. Thank you for being here. And tell us about you.
Hello, thank you for having me. شكرا بزاف. Oh no, don't tell me this. Oh, okay.
Technology always is a problem.
So actually, my name is an interesting point that you said. My name is my real name. It's Soumaya Marose. In Arabic, it's Marose. And when I translate it in French, because they used to write it, because of course they misspelled our name back to Belgium where I was born. They misspell all our names, so they spell it Maguz, GH, which they translate Ra. But actually, when you write, if you really want to say it correctly, in French it will be written Marose, which is my name in Arabic. Marose is my real name. So by starting by that, Soumaya Marose actually is the correction of my name. So the correction of my name, and I didn't need a lot of time to choose my artistic name because it was just real me, the real Soumaya.
Yeah, and it's perfect. I mean, your name is perfect for the stage,
Yeah, it's just
right? Like you couldn't choose a better name. And so you mentioned Belgium. So you're Moroccan and born and raised in Belgium.
yes. So in Brussels, uh, actually in Brussels, there is a big diaspora of Moroccan people. They came in the 70s, even 60s, in the 60s. And actually in Belgium, we are already in the fourth or fifth generation of Moroccan people.
Wow.
And I'm the second generation because of my parents are the first immigrant, and they have been in Belgium, in Brussels, for more than 40 years. And in Brussels, there is more than one third of the population is Moroccan or originally from Morocco. And there is also a big community of Turkish people. So my neighborhood was mainly Moroccan. So I grew up, as I said often, I breathe Moroccan, I eat Moroccan, I speak at home. It was really Moroccan. Even my school, it was or Turkish or Moroccan people. So another language that I had picked some word was Turkish.
How
So
funny.
that's with who I grew up, and then it's really my experience. Like at school, yes, we had the Belgium teacher, but everybody was Moroccan, so it's or Turkish, so it's a little bit special as an experience. And then from there, I really start to really learn to be with Belgian people when I went to the university.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's very late. It's in my 18. Before that,
Wow.
mainly I was with my community, and I also like grew up with my community. I actually worked on since very little. At age of 13, I start to work on wedding. I played the tabla and
Mm.
with women. We call that amdah.
Mm.
And we were kind of the first group in Belgium doing this. So I used to travel with them in Germany, in France, in Holland to play at the wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, so I used to play derbuga, the mbak.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was young, I was like good, but now I lost because I didn't do
Ah,
for a long time. And then this instrument I play bandir for a long time, and then I did the little battery for a long time, and then to when I immigrate to America, and it was almost in my 30s, so it was very late after that. So
uh,
I worked with them too when I came to America. And
so you started as a musician, or were you playing music and dancing at the same time as a
so
child?
I always dance. This is like something we grew up with that. Like dance is like eating, and music is all the time. So like you clean, you put music. Um, uh, you you are making food. You play music with the plate, or it's normal. But so I always dance. But when I went with the woman at work, it was for tabla. But I go all the time with my community on wedding, and I will be dancing. And since I'm very little, they call me shtaha, which means dancer. Like they say to my mom, "Oh, this girl, she's a shtaha," and it's a dancer. So they always called me like that. So I will go when I was young, like when I start to be a teenager, I will go and the people they will push me on the middle and dance, and everybody would sit down. Like imagine the wedding is 300 people, 400 people. They all sit down to watch dance. But of course, you don't do that for a living because culturally speaking, we don't dance for a living. Already, I was doing the job on the night for the percussion and the music. It
Mm,
was already a big deal.
yeah.
But my parents they liked it because the music was Sufi
Oh,
Moroccan music. So
wow.
that's what I was playing, and so that was okay, because there is Islam connotation, la la la.
Yeah.
But still, I was going out during the night, which is not a good thing, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And then, okay, so you grew up dancing, and then you're working, playing percussion for Moroccan community and parties and weddings and so forth. When did you become a professional dancer, and
So
how?
uh, I will call professional dancer when I start to take money from it.
Mm,
That's how I will define it. I will say
okay.
I become professional in America.
Mm,
Because before that, I had a lot of opportunities and I danced. Of course, I always dance. I love the dance. I start to take classes for a hobby. I never thought I will become a professional actually. It was a surprise in my life. But
oh,
nobody is really surprised around me that I am a dancer because this is how they call me.
yeah.
But like when I start to take money is when I came in America because in Belgium I couldn't do my profession. I couldn't be a dancer. It's impossible. Everybody will know someone that know someone that is from my family, so I cannot do that.
Mm. So you couldn't be a dancer in Belgium because your family couldn't know.
Yes, like it's Hshuma, I can do that. Hshuma is like a shame. It's a big shame for the family. So no, I didn't know. But they know me as a dancer. Like, but it's like in the community you have oh when you go in this family this girl she's really the good dancer, so when you go to a party people are waiting that you're gonna stand up and start to dance.
Yeah,
You see what I mean? So
I
you are
do.
now as this or like a musician or something, but not like you are a professional because you don't want to be it used to be also a girl in my neighborhood, she was a dancer, and when she will come to a wedding everybody will say, oh, she danced in the cabaret, she's a cabaret dancer, she danced in the cabaret. So
Mm.
I didn't want to of course have this reputation, and I didn't have the balls to do that also. I mean, it's just yeah.
Wow. And And so when you came to America, you started dancing professionally. Like, and what style do you do? Like, what or styles of dance do you do?
So So I didn't mention something. So I take class for hobby when I was in Belgium with
Oh,
Serkan Tutar, which he was is a Turkish male belly dancer, amazing person. And and it was always hobby. I went to his festival for hobby. Like I just love the dance, I don't care. And
Mm.
then when I came here, the first year I came, I had the interest because I right away started to dance Moroccan. I dance Sharqi, but I also dance Moroccan. So I will
Mm.
always put both in my show. And then it's interesting because I just go out to restaurant or something, and I have people they ask me, "Are you a dancer or do you do that professionally?" And I met a woman in Boston. When I arrived, I was in Boston.
Mm.
She was my mentor. Her name is Shadia, and
Mhm.
she mentored me. And she was like, "Do you want to dance in this restaurant?" I was like, "No, not really. Like, I don't want to do that because I go once. I want to watch the dancer, but I never wanted to be them.
Hmm.
So this is the thing. I just love them, but it was still a taboo for me. I came
Yeah.
with all my social heavy, but I don't know how it. I don't know how it began. I don't know. It just happened. I keep asking me, and then one time I had the balls. Then I go with a costume, but my costume were very covered. I was still very shy about showing some legs or some belly. So I asked Shadia, so a costume designer. So my first dress are like half
Yeah.
like my costumes and but Moroccan I performed it right away, and I went to festival to perform it, and no problem. But the Sharqi was more like the taboo.
Yes. I think for many of us around the Middle East and North Africa, Turkey and Greece, I know a lot of dancers the same way. Like you do folklore, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, but Sharky then becomes, when it becomes difficult. So does your family now know that you dance professionally?
Yes, yes and no. So my father, he doesn't know. My mom, she knows, but she, the Sharqi part, she forget about, she doesn't
Yeah.
know. But she knows for folklore because every time I go to Belgium, um, I go to Morocco, I do my souk. I go to buy things. So my mom, she will say, like, and then I say yes for the girls, for this, for that, for teaching. They were used for me to always be on the night parties, like
Mm.
or going out. So it's kind of the same idea. I think my father, he think I do the same kind of things, like going out for a. But they don't know. My mom, she knows a little bit. I showed her some of my Moroccan performances.
Mm.
It's kind of okay. But my siblings, they are okay. They are very supportive. My friends, they are very
Oh,
supportive.
good.
Yeah.
It's funny how Arabic parents sometimes they just don't see, like they just pretend like, okay, it's just not happening. Like we're just not going to talk about it, and it's not real or something. I don't know. Tell us about this beautiful costume you have on and your makeup and your hairstyle. So beautiful.
So actually, I wear this because this is coming from the Rose Valley in Morocco,
Mm.
tribe. And the women, when they dance, they represent the roses. They cultivate the
Oh.
roses. And so I was like, oh, Soumaya Rose, let's do this time, this one, represent this tribe, which is one of my favorite folklore. Because the dance is very beautiful, and I mean all the dances are beautiful, but this one I love it because the men represent the bees, and the women are the roses, and it's so beautiful to see. And this is their the way they do their hair. Actually, they showed me the woman, and then this is called ters fassi. So ters, it's actually this work. I don't know how we call like the
Yeah, like embroidery.
and from the city of Fez, because they were very famous for that, and it's coming back into the Moroccan culture a lot. This style now
Oh.
is again in the fashion. So
Mm.
just bought it and I said, you know what, I'm gonna wear blue. I like it. Because I wanted to have a little bit of a lot of summer. And here I did actually the
Yeah.
Amazigh style. Amazigh is the Berber, what we know as a Berber, so the tribe, the indigenous of Morocco, and I put what we call the red akar. It's the makeup, the Moroccan makeup. It's in a pot, and you have to.
Yes.
And then I put it on here, and then I did the white things because that's what I see. You can see that in a lot of Moroccan pictures of indigenous.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I actually this one is inspired by Leila Selma. Leila Selma is the queen of Morocco.
Oh,
That had her wedding. This style of design.
really?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And it looks, I mean, you just look like a queen. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
So now you're living in New York, and you said, or I think just before we went live, you were saying that before the pandemic, you were a full-time performer. Do
Yeah.
you talk about your performing life in New York?
So actually, I was in Boston,
Oh,
and
awesome.
it was there. I was for 6 years, and there I was a full-time performer and artist. I just that was my job, and I worked with many artistic projects, and I did and I also create my own event. Um, and it was full, like I was so busy all the
Yeah.
time. So there is the teaching part, but that come after. But there is the performance part because I was always performing, and I always try to throw in my sharqi, for example, a Moroccan piece. I will always try to
Mm.
do this, uh, or I create event with musician. I create actually a show with a musician. It was called Moroccan Night Experience, and it's
Oh.
a full night. Like really, people come and they live really the what is to be in Morocco, and they discover different folklore and style of Morocco. The story is an American that she remember her souvenir of her travel in Morocco. And
Mm.
people, there is an audience participation, and there is food, and so it's a full like concept. And I always try to show where the dance, where is the root of the dance, how the dance come from, and take her like her form. And then I also create the Tia L'Oriental at Aïchar. It was actually a project that I start when I came to Boston because when I arrived in the dance scene, which is interesting because my career is different than a lot of dancer, is that me I come really from the culture, and then
Yeah.
I went to the Western world to like to belly dance world, and it
Yes.
took me sometimes to understand that actually it's not really it's very different. They speak another language and I speak another language. And by realizing this is how I create the Tialo Oriental. It was actually to create this communication with the people, and and really to try to understand each other. So I did actually nine of them, where I talk about all those different topics like the cultural appropriation, why do they belly dance, like what is a hafla, for example, the meaning of that. So those were more like a community event and discussion, and it's a discussion where also participative. There is always game in the event, and there is also food because the goal is like I invite them to my house
Yes.
and to introduce them to my culture and to speak about sometimes very heavy topic, but I want them to ask questions, and I like we communicate.
It's so funny because I didn't know very much about you personally before now. And I felt like I really want to interview Sumaya. And now it's funny because I think we're very similar, like the work that you do in your shows and your events. I'm trying to do the same thing here in the Los Angeles area. Like when I put on a show, it's the dancing and live music and food and like the way we live it in the culture, because I think it's so important. We so many dancers, they don't have that opportunity. They learn a dance and it's just over here, you know? But knowing the dance in the within the culture, I think is so important. And I'm so glad that you're doing this work in Boston, but now, so now you're living in New York.
Yes, so I arrived during the pandemic. Like really in March, the pandemic started. I moved in March. So it was
Oh,
very hard because everything shut down and I arrived in a new city. I mean, I came in New York several times for the dance and everything, but it's not the same than when you need to establish yourself. And I was still connected with Boston because I create so many things. I have my troupe over there.
mm,
I had my student, I have my mentor, Shadia, like everything I create, my network, like also I was going to say that I did also other show that were very interesting because I like to speak always about the culture or they have to make sense. And
mm.
one of them was a collaboration. It's not a collaboration. I was invited to be representing a Muslim woman dancing with Jew.
Wow.
So and this is Joanny Block. She invited me to be a performer with her for her show, and she did the choreography. So it was like modern dance a little bit. So I had
Mm.
to dive in this. It was an interesting experience because I'm really rough, a rough girl. I come from the but I loved it, and I also work with a musician, another a composer, Walid Zairi. That was also an amazing experience. We went to Canada together in the Arabic festival, and I
Mm.
choreographed his music, two of his pieces. I was with him, and then also I um, I worked with Atlas Soul. It was another band. I worked with a lot live music. So this is how I become the performer. Actually, it's just like they contact me, they ask me, and I was just ready. Yeah.
That's amazing. I want to see you dance, and I want to like alive, like be there in person and experience the whole thing. Hopefully, inshallah, very soon we'll be more back to normal with these types of things. Um, what
Inshallah.
is your I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit, but what's your goal or what is your mission as an artist? What do you want to achieve?
So before I was just to say that
No.
me, I feel very connected with the Menat group, like with you, with all of you. Like I feel we say the same things. It's so relaxing to
Yeah.
that you can say those things and you're not too crazy one alone thinking those things. And so this is like but with for that going to my goal, I will say that my goal was always to be a bridge because I grew up between two culture, and like I grew up Moroccan, but I speak French. It's interesting because my husband tell me sometimes when I sleep I speak in Arabic, so it just like it's just
Wow. How funny.
so he said like you said those things in Arabic. Okay, but like I grew up and I speak French and then I learned English, I learned Spanish, like I learned languages and for me it's the same with the dance. Like for me when I dance I speak the Arabic woman, the Amazigh woman. I'm not trying to be something. I'm what I
Mhm.
grew up with. And even when I
Great.
dance Sharqi, I know a lot of people, they think because you do folklore, it's like they don't give you credit for the Sharqi. But it's not because I don't show much on my Sharqi because of a lot of taboo in our culture. That means I don't
Mm.
know what is Sharqi. And also, I think the problem is now what is called belly dance. I call it belly dance. Um, for me, it's just a vision how they see at us because the vocabulary is the interpretation. It's not the language by itself, so it's different. So I will say that my goal is really to explain this, to be a bridge by creating all those projects, to make feel the culture, to have the experience of the culture, um, and to give credit to our culture, and also to keep the culture alive.
Amen. Like that, that's really wonderful. And it's funny because I use that term a lot also, being like my father's Lebanese, but I was born and raised here in Hollywood and grew up with Arabs from all over the Middle East. And I always say that I want to be the bridge, just the same thing that you said. So um, I look forward to seeing and experiencing all the amazing things that you're doing. What challenges do you face as a dancer, as a Moroccan woman, uh, and
So
a dancer?
the challenge is first is to be a native. Simply, it's challenging already in two ways because you have you, like the control in your social and your community, and then you have also this and sometimes we don't understand with Western women because it's different culturally. So I will say that I don't match anywhere really. At the, but at the same time, I uh, yeah, it's challenging because also to be just a woman and dancing, and explaining
Yeah,
to your community or other men or other women. So even in any culture, even Western women sometimes or men, they are like a little bit with the dance and everything. So to not be too much exotized, also, you know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah, and so many challenge in many level. Uh, I think also that for me the first step is that I share really my culture. I'm not a businesswoman, and
Mm,
I don't know about that. So and to make a living with it, for example, still, um, but it's how because it's very it was hard actually the first time when I had, for example, to charge for dance because it's like you invite your people at your home and you tell them, okay, now you have this is the what you have to pay
yeah.
for what you eat.
I swear, yeah.
So it was such a really a hard step to do those things. But that's why when you talk about professionalism, because I understand better after I take classes, like of course I take all the time classes, even now I have many.
Good.
I have like my really good teacher that I pick carefully, but I it's all of this, and by paying you understand. Then when my husband was like, okay, you want to do that, but the money you cannot like just be, he was kind of he pushed me like to become a professional actually, my husband.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of challenge, a lot I will say. I don't know.
Yeah, charging money for for what you feel inside your soul is a difficult thing.
Yeah, very. I don't want to sell my soul, like and also because I think in this business and more when you see what's going on with the festival scene and everything, I'm sorry to say, but it's horrible. And I don't want to become like this. I don't want to come and just teach, okay, this is five move, now you shake your ass and you are good to go. No, I'm sorry. The challenge is I am carrying all in my shoulder, all my ancestor, my culture, my blood, and I want to see with dignity. I want to see it like performed with dignity and love and like, you know, it's
Yes. Yes. I swear, you're so wonderful. I'm so glad that we're here talking together. What do you feel has been your biggest accomplishment so far in dance or otherwise?
I will say that every step I did for me is a big accomplishment. Just wearing
Hmm.
the costume and being in front of people and dancing. It's like, and not being like dancing like this, you know, being dancing like
Yeah.
I'm here. That's my
Yeah.
stage. I'm the queen of my stage.
Yes.
Uh, but every person with who I worked, every person that have invited me, uh, like even today, being here for me is a big accomplishment.
Mm.
I kiss every moment that I have the opportunity to speak for my culture and for what I love. And I would say because also we have a colonialism past that we cannot ignore. And I grew up in Belgium, which is not really my choice. you know,
Oh,
uh, it's a result of the history, and I grew up discriminate, and I want the future people, the young Moroccan or people that they are on lost of identity, they have example that it's okay to love your culture and it's beautiful. I want them to be proud of what they are and to tell them you can be what you want to be. There is no rule. And this is why I choose the artistic path, because you see, I can dress like this today. That's my choice. And I'm so happy. I love it. And so, yes, I think, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. Oh,
yeah.
and sorry, the last thing is that when also the big accomplishment is I think when you gain the respect of your community,
Yes.
dancer as an artist. When I am like I saw they wrote an article about me in Morocco. I was invited to present my work in Morocco. Is for me it's like my parents, even my father doesn't know, but it's like they say, oh, what you do is beautiful, and you are make us you make us proud. We say حمر وجهكم. It means I put your this red on.
Yeah. You put the color in your face.
Yeah, that means it's good. It's a good thing because you
Oh,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
um,
So, have you ever, I just thought of this, have you ever performed in Morocco?
no, I mean I dance on wedding things like that with people. They know I'm a dancer, uh,
Oh,
but I never perform there. But I have maybe like opportunities that is gonna come because I actually I have student in Morocco. It's
oh
interesting.
wow.
They contact me. I found that so cute. I'm like, you are my inspiration, and they're like, no, we want to learn from you. So I feel honored.
Wow.
Mm.
Isn't that beautiful?
But I have, inshallah, yes, it's in my project.
And you would, if they invite you to come and dance in Morocco, you'll go?
Yes,
Okay.
and I have maybe yes, and but I already perform in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in my Moroccan community. So and
Mm,
in on stage, I have been in perform. Yeah, yeah, in Brussels. Yeah.
wow. There's so many questions I have, I don't know which way to go. What do you feel like, what's your goal or your next project as an artist?
So this is the thing. Is like as an artist, you always have these things where you are like you have all the energy, and then you feel bullshit. You feel like you have nothing. Just you want to hide, and then you can come back. So the thing is, I have a lot of projects. So you see, like those books, I'm starting my seven. It's all my. So there is actually this is my journey as a dancer. Is a book that I'm writing.
Oh, wow.
So it's called a Thought of Arabic Woman. And during the pandemic, I read, we say
Red.
yes, read, not right, read. I read part of it, um,
Mm.
like some things, but it's about memories and the relationship between the dance, even the Sharqi, because the culture is the same. You know,
Yeah.
the Sharqi is, we are a nation. We are a nation. We have the indigenous, and then you have the invasion of the Arabs. It's like the Roman Empire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm explaining a lot of elements of this, and actually after that, I did a series of workshops that I called "The Secret of the Dance."
Ah.
Yeah, so then secret, and then it's called Thought of Arabic Woman, and there is a lot of different part of it. There is about my journey as a professional and my experiences, what I learned from it, and also memories. For example, why we use perfume, why I took off my shoes. Actually, I was watching this video of Fifi Abdu and Dina also
Mm.
take out their shoes when they dance, when they really start to dance. So I explain these little things and memories, and I always so this is one of the thing I would like to really write down this. And also I'm working with my troupe, so I have my troupe in Boston, and I had already done the show, and I'm working on something bigger. So and I would like to travel with it, so that's one of the thing I'm working on.
Oh, great.
The like the project that will I would like to start the show next year, and I would like to make it in Boston, New York, and Chicago, and we'll see other places,
Los Angeles.
inshallah. And then I have two like project very upcoming. It's I want to do the Tia L'Oriental 10, and that one is about the men into the dance. The
Ah.
topic is the magnitude because I studied that too through my whole performances. I approach a lot of different men and ask them why they come to watch us and things like that. It's the vision of the men into the dance, and I will invite Serkan as a speaker. He's
Hmm.
and then another thing is I have to
Wow.
travel in Morocco in May with one of my friend Adi, and we organize a tour in Morocco and we've
Hmm.
so that's like I have a lot of things, but there is a big one coming up. It's the really the tour and this show that I'm something.
I can't wait to see it. I would love for you to come and do your show in LA.
Inshallah, yeah.
Inshallah, we'll do we try to make that happen. It sounds fascinating. Um, so, you know, in America, in the West, America, Europe, there's a lot of dancers who love the Moroccan dancing, the Moroccan culture, and they study and they perform. What do you feel like is missing? What do you feel like you could share or you could add to what dancers are learning about Moroccan dance?
So this is exactly why I really start to be professional, and I made my decision. I say, you know what? Fuck it. Sorry for I I don't I don't need people to speak for myself. We can speak for us. So I decided to be a professional because I didn't want that the Moroccan dance have the same um, the same story like how we say evolution of what happened to the Roxxanne. I'm sorry, maybe I'm like a little bit,
No.
but I want to say because for me now the Sharqi and this is problematic because the generation in Morocco now they have a lot of new fusion music.
Yeah.
They don't dance anymore. Like I went to Morocco 2 years before the pandemic, and my cousin, I'm like, where is Shabi? Where is the folklore? Where they don't know. They put these big heels, fake ass. I don't know. It's just so different, and they don't know how to dance. I say, of course, your shoes, first of all, they're so hard to dance with. And
Yeah.
second, you don't put the music. It's all Khaliji music. With, I love Khaliji music, but it's new style pop, and it's pop fusion. Which I love it. I don't say it's not. It's good, but it's
Mm.
also important to keep the tradition, like to know how to dance still a good shabi.
Yeah.
That's one side. And the other side is when I saw what's happening to Raqshaqi, because the problematic with Sharqi now, it's not a problem that it was evolved or something in a different vision with Western, but the problem is not at the hand anymore of the people of that culture, which means even the people of the culture, they are confused when the dance go back to their country. And this is
You're so right about that. Wow.
and for me this is the main problem, because then after this dance become what is the real dance, which is not. Because for example, for me, I don't recognize myself in the Sharqi today, in the belly dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. For me, it's not what I grew up, what I saw, what I don't dream.
Yeah.
I don't dream. I don't have time to dream because the show is 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It's becoming like barroom dance. You know, when all those competition, la la la, 3 minutes on stage, 1,000 step, make sure there is 1,000. You have no time to go to the tarab. You know what I mean? And for me, when we go in a hafla, in anything in our culture, you have a lot of time. You know, you go after a certain time, you're gonna spend the whole night, and you have a lot different moment in the night that which may lead you to the tarab. Actually, the whole people that they are there, they are going to the states of tarab
Yes.
without dancing.
And you need time. You need time to get there. It's for that feeling. It's like Tarab doesn't happen in 3 minutes. There's no way.
No. And so my main goal when I said, okay, now I'm gonna become a professional because I want to speak for my culture, and I want to to say yes. Like I said, why we don't become artists? And it was interesting because I saw this talk from Karim Nagy,
Ah,
and I liked it a lot. He said the problematic. I love Hello Kitty.
Milo. He loves to be on camera. Sorry.
I love it. He disappeared.
Yeah.
Magical. um,
Sorry about that.
no, no problem. I love it. So so I saw this talk of Karim Nagy. He was saying that why uh, the problematic is people of our culture, they don't make the effort to become artists, or to, you know what I mean, to work the art and to put it out. And I thought he was it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Why I complain? Why I don't make effort to become also as an artist as much as others, and speaking, and by the beauty, my husband always say, what you need to do is beautiful and speak to people. That's how they're gonna come to you.
Yes, absolutely. Um, I'm writing down so many things that you're saying because I want to remember. Uh, oh God, I'm trying to. I have to focus, everybody. Sorry, my brain is in a million places. Um, Let me see. What have I not asked you? What do you want people or your audience to know about you or understand about you that maybe is not this cat, oh my God, not obvious, you know?
I think the thing that they don't know, my audience, is I'm a very shy person.
Mm,
And I think this is also cultural, because my culture, where I come from, in we are Jbala, from the mountain, we are known to be very shy.
really?
Yeah, so it's I think I have this heritage of being very shy. My parents are shy, so I think this is something that people doesn't know about me. And but I and what I do is with love. I never mean to hurt someone.
Mm,
I do it with love and passion, but I want to speak the truth. I don't want to hide it, to fake it or something. And I think the rest talk by itself. I'm myself. I'm not playing any game, and I'm here just to make to create respect between each other, and to say yes, this is not our culture, and I have the right to say it. When you think this is sharqi, when, for example, uh, as a professional, if, like, for me, I will say, since I'm a professional, for example, I will just give you an example. When I go to the people of my culture, they are like, oh, teach us how to dance. I'm like, you need to teach me, because I see them, each person now, any person of my culture or in the Middle Eastern, I see them as a book
Yeah.
that I can read. So my place today, as a professional, I say, is not to say is beautiful or not beautiful or this or that. It's just to study and to appreciate. Actually, I appreciate more, and
Yeah.
I think that but I have my tests, of course. As a native, I can like this dancer or not like this dancer. So I would say that for a Western woman learning our culture, her place is never to say, she cannot say this one dance good, this one dance bad, because first of all, you see, I speak English, but my English, also something that I want people to know, my English is not good. Everybody think I understand very well, but I do not understand everything. So and I will have an accent all my life, and I cannot have the sedality. Even like I'm with English speakers and my friends, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm lost. I don't understand what you're saying. Even I have been here for many years. So imagine when you learn a dance, even you learn it many years, there is so much behind that you don't understand, because it's in the air. It's you have to, when I dance, for example, a shabi, I feel, I'm imagining already. I smell my mom. I smell this. I feel this. I have the eyes of my sister. It's just, this is natural. I'm not saying that because we are native we are best dancer. This is not. There is no competition between us and them, but there is a different language, and what we need just to do is to respect what we have to say, because this is the language that I talk and I speak, and I make a lot of effort to understand, because when I came to America, when I came to belly dancing, I make a lot of effort to understand that dance. And when I was fascinated at the beginning, because I was like, wow, this is how I should be dancing, la la la. And then my family started to tell me, what's going on with you? You don't know how to dance anymore. Like I was speaking wrong language.
Yeah.
And so today, I just want to say, yes, I'm not here to please. I, if you want correction when you speak the language, I will give it to you, because I can see it. But if you don't want it, you can just speak with the mistake. It's okay. It's cute. Sometimes it's cute. Sometimes it's not good. I used to say beach and beach, and my friends, I always made the mistake. They'll let me say it, but I'm like, that's not.
Yeah.
But they say it's cute. I don't find that cute. But anyway, it's just a.
But this is what you're saying is very important, and it's very deep, because I think it's like slang. Do you know what I mean? Like, you speak a language correctly, and then you have slang, right? The way people talk in the street. And I think that we have so many dancers learning the slang. Like, what's popular now? Mahagana, whatever style, right? They're learning that, but they don't know the language of the dance, the
No.
foundation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's
Excuse me, because you
Yeah,
made
yeah.
about something. Sorry, just my
No,
mind is doing. When you say about Mahraganat or and wherever, there is no things to say this is wrong dance or something. This is representing something. Is shahbi in general. It
mm,
represents something that is happening at the time in the moment in the country. Because originally, for example, in Morocco, the shahbi, the original of this is the improvisation poetic. But I'm talking about the moment what was happened. For example, my mom, she will do raita, she will say things about immigration when the men they left the country. So each moment is representing something in the country, each culture, each folklore, each. So, but for example, shekhat, which in Morocco,
mm.
shekhat, which I respect because they have a lot of they involve too today, but it's not the Morocco. It's a qatra, as we say. Qatra is a drop.
A drop.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a
Oh
drop.
my,
The same in Sharqi. Sharqi is not just cabaret.
no,
Is one thing, and but it doesn't mean because you don't wear a costume cabaret that you are not dancing Sharqi. You can actually the Sharqi I saw in my life it was with dresses, even with
hmm.
kaftan. I saw women with kaftan dancing Sharqi.
And sometimes the best Sharky that you'll see is in a dress or is in covered clothing and not in a bedla.
And Sharqi is not just a cabaret, it's so many dance. So many, like Moroccan, it's not just shekhat. It's,
No.
it's many dance. So, we cannot and I think that one thing that took on the top was the cabaret style. Uh, Maybe because it's the sexiest, I don't know, or I don't know. It's also probably this taboo. A lot of things probably why this dance is so attractive. But as a woman of the culture, when I do the dance, the raqs sharqi, or I will do like really, I feel baladi or something, it's
Mm.
I feel the woman, you know, my sensuality, and there is movement that I cannot do publicly. They're private, and it's interesting because I teach
Yeah.
day to my student. I say dance if your mom is not here. Now dance like your mom is watching. So it's different.
Yeah. Very different.
And when you dance with the audience, you always dance unless you are you really you can be a stripper. It's no problem with that. But I'm saying that when you perform, you are not representing only you. You represent more than only you. You are representing so many people, a culture. So give it some credit and say thank you, because sometimes that culture is feeding you, and give back to the culture. Now all this tendency they want to go to Egypt, like Egypt will make you famous and you will become big star. Yes, but I'm sorry, so many of those dancers they don't dance on the beat. I'm sorry to say it,
Yeah.
but this is the real. And someone has to say it because you are all thinking, yes, they love them and everything. Yes, but watch Dina. Dina, when she dances, people are not stalking on her. They are
No.
not around her. She had the space. A performer has a stage.
Yeah.
Sometimes she can get closer with the people and she will put a picture with the bride or something. But usually, and today the dancer is all the people are close. For me, even when when how I grew up, my experience as a dancer, when I stand up dance because I have the respect, everybody sit down and watch.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
Mhm.
So for me, if everybody's coming stacking on you when to dance, that means you are not anymore a dancer. You are just entertainer, and you amuse the gallery, how we say in French.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
maybe I'm saying too much. I should keep this.
No, no, but
I'm gonna be back after.
no, no, this has to be said because it's so important and it's so true. It's like, yeah, dancing with the audience is important.
Yes, it is.
For one part of your show, like, okay, if you're dancing in a wedding, you get the people to dance with you. Yes, but it's not the only thing. That's when it becomes entertainment. But if you don't have a space that, a real stage or an imaginary stage where, as you said, people don't sit down and watch you and respect you as a performer, then it's only entertainment. And there's a difference, everybody. There's a difference.
I have to,
Art and entertainment, different.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And I want to say something to add something about what you said because you made me think about. I want to do a relation, how we say, correlation with my culture, for example.
Mm,
Because my husband, he said, oh, every time people come, you don't sit down, you are in the kitchen because the Moroccan cook, like not the cook, the hostess, when
yes.
she doesn't sit down
Hmm.
with the people. She's here and she prepare everything and she makes sure that, and she's really like in the kitchen and people doesn't come to her kitchen to watch. So it's, I will say this is the same if I have to do a relationship because she come
Hmm.
out only when people they serve the food. She will come out and will say psaha, like which means health. She will come and like say hi to the people. And even in a big hafla, it's like that when you are the hostess.
Hmm.
Don't sit down right away with the people.
Mm-mm.
You come after and you say hello, psaha. That's the way we do. And maybe after you're gonna sit them when there is the tea or something. But otherwise you are there. But your kitchen is your kitchen. You know what I mean? So it means like the guest doesn't come to your kitchen.
Yes.
They stay sitting and you come out and you greet them and this is like being a queen. And I see that the same when you go on stage. You people are there and they are eating and you come to say hi, welcome. You are the union of those people. This is why they are here. It's for you because
Yeah.
you put them together and you want them to have a good moment. So this is
Hmm.
the idea. And after you relax and you do a pop song with them, you put them up and you make them relax, but not right away you come and you are already like dancing stuck. And even this, there is a distance, you know, still you are the hostess. So you have to know what is your rule as a hostess.
You're making me think of so many things, I swear. It's like I always say, and I'm going to get in trouble here. So sorry, everybody. But if you're watching dancers on Instagram and YouTube and whatever else, if they're dancing with the people and the people are standing and watching her, it's not the same. If they're dancing with the dancer, then she's good. But if she's dancing and they're all standing like nearby but not dancing with her, you're just entertainment then. You know? It's like you said, your kitchen is your kitchen, your stage is your stage. You have to have a place where you get to show who you are as an artist. And then there's also some time for dancing. Like you said at the end, you play a pop song, you get everybody up and we dance together. Then it makes sense.
And also when you prepare the food in your kitchen, this is your secret.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know how to make the spices.
Mm.
You make sure when you serve the food, you please.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the masterization of the dance. Is
Mm-hmm.
everything in the good moment. You know, you know because you are conscious of your audience. In your audience, there is someone is a little bit, don't like pepper too much. Don't put it spicy too much. You know, like
Mm.
this is but in a smart way. You don't go to the guy and say, you like pepper. No, you learn because that's how our culture do. We don't go through the people. We ask. We always have the information somewhere anyway. There is the
Yeah.
newspaper. So this is a
So
actually
if
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to say that actually one of also the foundation of the music. My friend Mohammed Major used to say that the music, the poetry, improvisation. He called that the newspaper of the time.
So true. That is so, so true.
You know, I'm about everyone, everything, just by what they sing.
Yeah. Hold on.
What's your
There
question?
I was gonna say, okay, this is what I was gonna say. If I was an American, I mean, I'm American, but a Western dancer, and I really want to learn like the real way of dancing, like Moroccan style or Sharki or Baladi, what advice would you give me? How how does a dancer who really wants to learn the real thing, the dance in the culture,
Uh,
what would you say?
I have my friends in Belgium. They
Hmm.
were my best friends. They come all the time with me. They know how to dance without. They know the culture. They know everything because they are just with us. So I would say the best way to learn our culture is to experience it, and it's not by going in Egypt in a resort and being a professional dancer because you were in like you don't live the real life. It's being with the woman. This is my friend Hanan. She always said that. She's also
Mm,
in that group. She said the woman and the beholder of the culture, which is true.
absolutely.
And so if you want, and that's what I do with my troupe now. I bring them with me in a Moroccan party, and I tell them because we go perform or something, but I tell them before, be ready for this, for that, for that, for that, for that. And when they come, believe me, they're like that. Some of them they are Moroccan. They love them because two of them, Daniela and Brie Adora, they are with me since I start. So now it's like they're part of the. And it's
Mm,
when they are accepted by the culture, the women they will take them and say, "Come, I will teach you." They teach. I said, "No, this is your class. Go on the stage and dance with the women."
yes, 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 yes.
But you need always a translator. I think you still need a translator because you don't have the eyes to understand the culture. So sometimes your interpretation, and this is what I saw also with some of dancers, the old generation, they travel around our countries and something, but they never really understand. So they read book, they write book, but the book is fantasy. It's not the reality of our culture because it's their own eyes and interpretation. As I just said before
Mhm.
with the dance, you cannot judge with your eyes the dance. Some people they say, "Oh, Dina, I don't like her dance." Yeah, because you don't understand.
Right.
You are not trained. Your eyes are not trained to understand the culture. You don't see the same thing. So I think that we always need an interpret in these things still. Like you need someone to be able to translate to you, which is not difficult to find in Morocco at least.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm realizing now that you're saying this with this group that we've started of the Manat Dancers Collective. I feel like that's one of the reasons is like we have all of these jewels, right? Or all of these interpreters or translators of the dance. But because we tend to be shy, because the culture makes us shy women, because we can't, it's hard for us to accept money for what we do. And all of these cultural things I'm realizing are keeping us back, and foreign dancers are taking over because they're not shy. They're happy to step up and take control. Do you know what I mean? So I always say I'm trying to increase or amplify the voice of dancers of the culture
Yeah, thank
because we are those translators. We are those ones that will help you understand, this gesture or a movement or a costume or a makeup. Like, I feel like we have that gift and people need to know about it. Okay, I'll stop talking about myself now.
No, no, thank you for saying what to say and everything, and for doing this. And what is interesting, I think also this for me, for example, I grew up like it's like you know, you are in a country where it's not your country, and you never feel part of really of the country, and we always feel down. So we're not gonna say, oh, I masterized this or something. I don't know, even myself. So I don't understand those dancers. They think they hold it, because even me, when I start and to now, I don't hold the Moroccan culture. Like I'm just, as I said, a drop in the ocean. There is as much dancing that there is people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I cannot pretend that I am the ambassador of Moroccan culture. It will be like,
Mm,
no. And also, even when I start to teach, you know, I question: is it my place? Is not my place? You know, it's
mhm.
really a big question. And this is the thing is uh, like what you said about the other dancer, they fast go to teaching, performing, na na na. I think that there is a structure problem, a hierarchy problem.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, but in the festival, you have the master, the year after, you have the master and the student on the flyer. And you're
Yeah.
going to have from both. It's not interesting, I'm sorry. Or I don't go to Egypt, with all my respect for all the dancers that they are learning our dances, but to study with women that are not from my culture. I go to Egypt because I want to live the Egyptian experience.
Yeah.
So this is, I think this is problematic, and I have respect for the dancer that they are learning our culture, but they should always remember they are guests.
Yes.
They are guests, and they cannot take over like this. They have to give respect, and
Yes.
that doesn't mean they cannot perform. That doesn't, I think they have to collaborate. Always keep the collaboration. Uh,
Elaborate. Absolutely.
uh, and also, why this rush running after fame? Yeah, any girls that show her boobs and her ass can be famous. You know what I mean? It's not difficult. I have boobs and ass too. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's easy. I can be sexy. I bet my sexiness I keep it from my private life.
Yeah.
This when I am on stage, I'm a performer. If I decide to do a sexy show and I also really want to be in the striptease, I do then this. Or I really in the part of the dance that is there. But I'm sorry, there is a hierarchy problem. All the master teacher, where are they now? They are erased. That we don't see them. Like I'm taking class not with Yusri Sharif. I love it.
Oh,
I
I
know
love that. Yeah.
the class. To get to Nawal Ben Abdallah. She's a Moroccan teacher. Amazing. Did a big work in Moroccan. Like this is the people they should be in front. Us, we are, even me, I'm still a baby here learning.
Mhm,
I'm not a
mhm.
teacher, I'm a baby. And I have, if they need reference, I know the teachers. You know, like there is teachers over there. There is Sarkan, he's amazing. There is Shadia. Shadia, she's very expert on Levantine style. So I learned
Oh,
Levantine, yeah, so she's amazing. Like so many amazing teachers, they are here. Khalid Mahmoud, but he said bye bye. My heart.
I know, and I love his dancing. I love Khalid Mahmoud.
Yes, this is, we are the next generation, and I'm here with my humility. If I can share something, I can share, but the masters are still there, so we need
Mm,
those masters too.
absolutely. Wow, this is powerful. Thank you so much for sharing your feelings and
Yeah,
being so honest and open, because really, I mean, these are the things that no one is talking about, and we need to share. Um, Is there anything that that I haven't asked you that you want to talk about or that you want to share with us?
Uh, I want to sit. I think maybe with our conversation, two things. Um, or three. First of all, thank you,
My pleasure.
and I'm so happy, and I can't wait to connect with all of you. And I hope one day, inshallah, we're gonna make a big things together
I hope so.
after this COVID shit. Second, I want to say that I go through different phases like love and then anger and then love and anger
Mhm.
because yes, I have to say it's frustrating me with all this social media, this network today, these things. Like yesterday I learned something about Instagram to advertise my thing. I have no idea about this thing, and
I
it's not
know.
because they don't see us out of there. That means we don't do anything. I'm very active locally in my community, and even when I
Mhm.
travel for the dance, and I work with artists, and I think that the dancer that they come to learn our dance, our culture, where is always welcome. Like the on Moroccan, you come, you have nowhere to sleep, come to my house,
Yes.
So it's we are welcome, but please respect us,
Mhm.
and also it's not because you learn a little bit then you think that you can right away after jump into this. Japanese people, they cannot teach the student before the teacher tell them no, you are ready.
Which is the way it should be, right? That's the way it should be.
I think it should be a structure. And Shaja, she always tell me before to go to stage, you have an audition, and the musician were doing this or that. You
Mm.
don't realize how much those dancers they impact even the music and how the music
Mhm.
is going. Like the music, even the music when you listen, the modern music is drumming too much. This that there is not this all these spices of the good food. It's becoming a hamburger, all of it. So
Yeah.
and I want to say you are welcome, but please be respectful and never forget you are a guest. But you will be always welcome. If you have
Yes.
a problem, you are welcome. I'm here to talk, and I want to work with you. I'm happy to share with you. It's okay to be a guest. It's not a problem. And the last thing I want to say also that learning is a process. And I said that in another interview, but I like to repeat it for this interview because I think it goes well. And I wrote that in my book too. I dive one time. I dive in the ocean like to see the corals. But when you dive, you put these things to breathe and everything.
Yeah.
So for me, because I speak several languages,
Mm.
and to be able to understand a language, it's like diving. You have to breathe differently because even the language they have
Mm.
different musicality, which make you breathe differently in the language. Actually, this is why I have a problem when I talk between Moroccan and French, I guess, because of this. So these different nuances make you breathe differently in the language. So it's the same
Mhm.
when you dive. It's completely different, and it's also fascinating because when you realize the ocean, you realize that there is another world under. It's bigger, so big, so big, so big, because the ocean they are bigger than the earth, the
Right.
land, and it's deep. But when you see the colors and everything, and you start to see a little bit, it's fascinating. But you will always need something to breathe into this.
That is such a deep analogy. I swear, it's like that makes so much sense. You're blowing my mind over here. And And I want you to know we have some people in the chat that are loving the conversation and everything that you're saying. So thank you. Thank you, Natalie. I wish maybe we could make it happen every night. One of our dance sisters out there, she said, "This is my favorite show. I wish it was on every night." What do you want? So like we're now an hour and 15 minutes into this interview, so we should
Yeah.
wrap it up a little bit. My last question for you. How do you, Soumaya Maroz, want to be remembered as an artist? Like 100 years from now, when they look back and say, oh, Soumaya, the Moroccan dancer who, you know, Brussels, Boston, New York, and then God knows where else. I remember that she was what?
Sincere.
Oh. Absolutely. You have succeeded already in being sincere. I think that we're going to have to do this more often and have more conversations because you're blowing my mind and I've learned a lot from you tonight. And I'm so glad that we've got a chance to connect virtually thanks to technology. And I hope that we're going to continue and do some amazing things together in this world. So stay tuned. And if you guys are out there are watching next week on October 23rd, 12 noon Pacific time, we're going to have a panel discussion with Soumaya and many other of the members of the Manat Dance Collective. And we're going to talk about all this great stuff. And so you should check it out and let people know so that people who really want to know and learn and understand, right? Dive in the ocean and breathe properly, right? Here's an opportunity for us to share with you a bit of our knowledge. So we hope you'll join us. Soumaya, thank you so much. It's been really wonderful. And I look forward to more.
And thank you for all the work you do. It's because of you that we are here. So thank you for this.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone out there. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. Masalama. Good night. And Soumaya, just hang on for 1 second. I'm going to end our YouTube. Good night, everybody.